Tonight, the full Sims Esports iRacing Spec MX5 League will stop at West Virginia's Summit Point Raceway. It's pretty likely everyone racing this round will probably be pretty familiar with the circuit on iRacing. After all, it's one of the first circuits made available to new members, and best of all, it's free. But that in no way means our exceptional pilots are in for an easy night. Summit Point is actually an excellent test of driver skill. The track is surprisingly technical in nature with minor but crucial elevation changes, and it's really hard on tires. It also is unusually long for a club track, especially the main straight. Like many old school club tracks, pretty difficult to pass here with only one really good overtaking spot, and that's going into turn one. So pressure and creativity could well be a key tonight. You know, how good is this place? Well, when once asked the legend Paul Newman, somebody said, "What are your favorite tracks?" And he put Summit Point right near the top of his list. Hi all, and welcome to The Point, round 7 of the SMX Fall League. I'm Greg Creamer along with Kyle Heyer. And Kyle, this track is both beautiful and also a seriously fun challenge.
Oh, I love this place. You mentioned it, that this racetrack is one of the free tracks that comes with the base iRacing subscription. So you cut your teeth around here just like you do at Lime Rock Park and WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. But after that, after you kind of graduate from rookies, you don't really see this track all that much. And I think that's a shame because there is so much fun to be had around this place. That long front straightaway, the crazy hard braking zone into turn one, and then that middle sector where it just feels like you're turning forever. This is a blast of a racetrack. It's a perfect place to go racing tonight, round 7 of the season. Small field tonight, 20 cars, but it's going to be fierce out there. The smaller fields we see, the more aggressive we see drivers get, Greg.
Yeah, that's generally been the case, hasn't it? Which makes this really entertaining, I think, is what we're going to see. And you know, when you think about this track and you look at it, it becomes pretty obvious that turn 10, which is the last turn, is incredibly crucial. One, it just because it's the turn that leads onto the longest straight, so that always makes that corner really crucial. But for a fast lap here, you need to nail turn 10 twice. So in qualifying, you've got to get a mega run through turn 10 to start your lap so that when you cross the line, you are at absolutely max speed as you could be. And then you've got to nail it again when you complete the lap to make that lap a really good one. It's so easy to overrun the exit of 10. We've seen that happen many times here when somebody's really on a push lap, so it's going to be pretty crucial there.
Well, qualifying is underway. Just about 5 minutes left here in this qualifying session, and Beans Forster, that we're looking at right here, is P2 at the moment. Camden Hibbett right up at the top of the order. Now, you see him popped in line there right ahead of the 123. That's a livery that I think is new for this season for James Newell in that car, but easy to spot with that nice green front end, and it's pretty busy out there. Look at how crazy it is in qualifying.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody wants to get a toe down that long straight, but then you get into the really twisty bits like we are here, you can really get held up by somebody who makes a mistake in this section. But I think you've just got to hope you can find somebody to get a really good toe coming out of turn 10. Right here, this turn right here is really crucial. You want to exit and stay left because you don't want to have to turn in too early at speed into that next turn, turn 8 and 9, because that leads you onto another long, fast section here. And then this is that turn 10, Kyle. And man, you have got to get this right every time.
Yeah, this straightaway is so critical. I mean, you're carrying speed down here, almost VMAX in one of these MX-5s, probably close to about 120 miles an hour, 125 maybe, and then hard on the brakes down to a second gear corner. And this track, it's so narrow here. There's a big, tall curb on driver's right that you don't want to hit. This is a really challenging racetrack, and it really starts with that run to turn 1 of it. Of course, this turn 3, one of my favorite corners on the racetrack, uphill, sort of a blind crest, and the camber falls away, so you're going to find a lot of drivers heading off into the gravel, which is going to make a real mess out of the racetrack here, leaving this turn. You'll see it here.
Yeah, this is one of those corners that, you know, it can bite you in two ways. You know, you think about it, you go, oh, I got to turn in a little late, right, because it's blind. And then you get to the exit, and because of that uphill where you get all that extra grip, suddenly you realize I'm 2 feet from the exit curb. I'm nowhere near as fast as I could be. So then the next time you decide, if you do it wrong. You take a little bit of a chunk out of it and go in a little bit hotter, turn in a little bit sooner, and you're right off the outside. It's one of those real tightrope corners that's absolutely crucial to get done right, and I love it. You're absolutely right, and I love this little bit of elevation change. There's a pretty good bump when you come under that bridge. You're going in a straight line, it's not a big deal, but there are just these little things that this track has. As Tom O'Gorman would say, it's got a lot of texture.
Yeah, a ton of texture to play with for sure.
Yeah.
And, see Camden Hibbett here giving us sort of this onboard look again. I really enjoy this perspective. Well, right on board the dashboard here, but you can see where his head is turned with this GoPro or whatever he's got mounted to his head, basically. So this will be great to watch when we get to that middle sector, because you got to have your head on a swivel back there. There's a lot of direction change.
Oh, absolutely, there is. And here we go. Puff dirt. A lot of drivers are gonna have that in their face as they have been. This is that section here, and as you turn in here, it actually drops a little bit downhill, and then you turn in here and it comes back again, so you can actually go in there a little quicker. Almost, ooh, he had a little mistake there. I think he got offline from another car.
Oh, contact.
Ooh, then he got hit.
Yeah, it's real tight down there for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure
it is definitely a narrow part of the racetrack. He's currently on provisional pole, though, so no challenges there. Here's Morgan Burkhardt in the number 67, back at iRacing after a fairly successful run in Michelin Pilot Challenge last week at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. I think it was top 10 there towards the tail end, so job well done. But P3 at the moment.
And his absence because of that race is what has allowed Camden Hibbett to take the lead back here. Now, yes, there are drops and we're still early in the season, but Camden has moved back into the points lead with Morgan only 6 behind him. Then Nicholas Rice-Puto was only 11 adrift of Morgan. And then Beans is only 2 back. So right now the top 4 are covered only by 19 points. So there's a lot to be getting after here for sure.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like we've got Rice-Puto tonight either.
Just looking at that, yeah.
So that'll sort of change the math a little bit. There's Beans, P4 at the moment, just 50 seconds left in qualifying, so he won't get a chance to finish this lap. Nobody will, unless you're already good ways around the racetrack. And with the heat-style format here in iRacing, as soon as the clock hits 0, well, I guess it is going to hit 0 there, and time to move along now to the race. So at least race 1 of 2, Greg. We've got our 2 20-minute events, and the weather changing slightly here for us. It looks like it's going to be about 76 in the air, track time about 87. And pace cars gridded up, and we're waiting for drivers to hit the racetrack here.
Yeah, and while we have just a second here, I think we have to make a pretty cool announcement here. Court Schmidt and the gang at Full Sin Sims decided to make either the incredibly smart move or the incredibly unwise move of letting you and I choose the final round of the championship this year. And so you and I got together and we twisted our mustaches and got into it a little bit. And Court said, go ahead and make the announcement tonight. We are excited about it. Our 15th and final round of this fall league for SMX will be at Mount Panorama in Bathurst. So get ready. It's one of the craziest tracks you can imagine.
And there's a look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just one of the true challenges of motorsport. And Greg, if there's one racetrack that I dread seeing on a schedule, it's Mount Panorama Bathurst. I mean, it's a fun racetrack, don't get me wrong, but this is a true test of precision and speed. And while an MX-5 is going to be, not all that interesting to drive up the mountain, the down the mountain part is going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait.
Oh my God, it's so cool. And one of those turns, right as you start to come down the mountain, there is a guard or a concrete barrier that sticks out. And if you get that wrong, you can just shred your car on that barrier. It's just crazy. And, when they say Mount Panorama, they're not kidding. Look in the background, the elevation that you are when you're at the top of the mountain here. You are up there. There's no question about that. And it's pretty impressive.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
That's the run. That's the Conrad Straight, as they call it. And, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, we got a micro version of that here at Summit Point, though. That run down to turn 1.
Yeah,
we're going to do it for about 40 minutes worth of racing tonight, and the pace lap is happening now. Let's go through our starting lineup here, Greg, and take me through it. Start with that first row, Greg.
All right, well, your points leader, Camden Hibbett, will start on pole with Thomas Belleman, who has joined us a number of times this year and is really quick. He'll be starting in that second spot. Morgan Burkhardt, three-time champ, starts in the third spot. Beans Forrester, absolute front runner, starts fourth. In the fifth spot, it is going to be...
Sorry. Wrong button. There we go.
Olivier Piatek will start in the fifth spot, his 62 there. And Carson Neal, great qualifying run, will start sixth there in that blue and lime green livery. Then Hayden Manis will start in the seventh spot, his gray and white machine, with James Newell with a new livery, that lime green on the front and gray back on that car. And then moving to the eighth starting spot, it is going to be Newell, Elliot Burton will start ninth, actually, and Andrew Wozencroft will complete our top 10.
My button's a little laggy tonight, sorry about that. William Wenzel Kemma starts in 11th spot in the number 28. Jim Friedhofer rolls off 12th in the number 89. And we followed up by Seth Spolman in the number 042 in 13th place. Nate Himmelsbach in 14th in the number 43. Then Jose de las Casas in 15th in the number 717. And Deacon Greenfield in the number 20 rolls off in 16th place. Sawyer Richards and Court Schmidt wrap up our last full row with 19th place going to Wayne Buttermore in the number 73. Here's a look at that rundown to turn 5. This is a pinch point, but a great passing opportunity as well. Might be your last good one when we come to the white flag. We know it probably will come down to the wire for at least one of our two races. And up front, no gridding for Camden Hibbett.
Interesting.
So he didn't make it to the grid. I'm not sure if it was an internet issue or he had to bail or something, but it's just Belleman on that front row, no Hibbett.
Oh boy, that is, so if it was an internet issue, if he can get it back, he starts last, right?
Yeah, he can start from the pits at this stage. So
yeah, exactly.
But again, looks like Morgan Burkhardt they're not going to allow you to move up a row. You stay where you are. So that gap will have to be left open. It is cloudy out for sure. Here's another look at the weather. Low humidity at least for West Virginia, but here we go.
All right, through this crucial turn 10. And it, as soon as the pace car pulls in, once again, letting you know the rules, it's in. Now, Belleman has to maintain 40 miles an hour. It cannot just, can't start to roll into it, can do nothing until that green flag flies. So it's literally up to the pole sitter here by regulation. Here. And we're green. Oh, Piatek. I think he moved a little early, and that is, he could be in a little bit of trouble for that. We'll talk about that in a minute, but he's looking to make it 3 wide heading down into turn 1. It's Burkhardt in the squeeze play between the all-black and Belleman, and I think Piatek wisely said, yeah, that's just going to end in tears, and has decided to tuck in. And is that Camden? That's way in the back that's going to be coming through.
Yes, it is. It did start from the pit, so he missed the gridding process there. And something happened at the end of the qualifying session where it seemed to advance a little early. I'm curious if he got caught out, if he was on a break or something, and everything just advanced really fast. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but it caught me out. Might have did him as well. Ooh. Oh, off the racetrack. That was Andrew Wozencroft going for a ride.
Yeah, he got just a little bit of a nudge, and he tried to avoid it, but I think it was just a little bit too much of a reaction, and it just took him straight off. Thankfully, tons of runoff in that one spot, and he got away with it. As we're heading now through these S's and now out, there's this crucial run through turn 9 that you want to get through there absolutely flat, Chad. If you do it right, you can pretty much be almost flat on the throttle in these cars from 7 all the way to 10, but it's really critical on how you get through 6 and 7. And now down the front straight once again, looking back to Tom Belleman, and that, I wonder if he did it on purpose, that menacing all-black car.
Well, we'll see Burkhardt crowding over to the driver's right to try to defend from Belleman, who's going to shoot to the left and go up the outside at turn 1. I've seen this maneuver work plenty of times here, but that inside is a pretty advantageous place to be with such a short run at a tight apex like that. But they're side by side for the lead now. Beans Forster watching from third, and he's got Piatek barking up the right side here.
Oh, now look at that over-under attempt by Burkhardt as Beans comes back, hangs on to that third spot. But that was really nicely done by Belleman. Obviously, Morgan racing him respectfully, but Belleman stayed there and was able to, as a result, sort of pinch the exit a bit for Burkhardt coming through 2. And he just could not unwind and get the throttle. Let's go big yet.
That was Himmelsbach.
Himmelsbach and I think Deacon.
Yep.
May have been involved in it. That was a big off, wasn't it?
It was. Here's a look at it. Yeah, it bounced off the curb for Deacon, and then, ooh, that's kind of a classic Summit Point way to crash, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. What a shame.
So back out front into turn 10 again. Belleman now leading over Burkhardt, but for how long? This is going to be this back and forth. Look at all the gravel on the front straightaway as well. They're going to have to drive through.
Pulling all that gravel up. How about Hayden Manis up into fifth? Obviously helped by Hibbett starting at the back, but now Burkhardt moves to the inside, and he's got a nose ahead here, but is he fully clear? Yes. And look at the lunge by Piatek on Beans. But Beans again, he watched what Belleman did and said, well, if he can do it, I can. And he stayed put. And then you see him sort of feint back over to the right, doing the exact same thing, trying to just squeeze Piatek a little bit.
Oh, trouble.
Pinch him. Ooh.
Burkhardt, Burkhardt got turned in front of the field. I don't know how that didn't turn into a complete disaster for all of them. But Piatek, your leader now.
Yep. So Piatek out front with Beans. Carson Neal sitting in third. James Newell up into fourth. Let's watch it again here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there was some contact at the end there. And it did, I think it did damage Burkhardt's car.
I think, yeah, it did. Right rear.
And you see it looping now.
Yep.
So.
The left rear, you can see the toe is completely broken over there.
Yeah.
And, it was the secondary contact.
Right.
First if they wouldn't have hit again, I think Burkhardt would have just driven off. But, at that point, they're both passengers, and laws of physics take over.
I think you're exactly right with that, unfortunately. But again, it's that turn 3 apex. That's mean because you can go through there side by side, but the camber falls away. It's so easy to understeer. Was there enough space there? Hard to tell, but it was really tight, and that's bound to happen at some point. It just happened to be our leaders that time.
Camden Hibbett just on the Camden Hibbett watch for those of you following, up to 12th. So he is closing in on that top 10, and he's got a little bit of time to go. He's got to really hustle here. And he's got a ton of cars to get through in these next, say, 10 minutes if he wants to be in a position to maybe do something should the leaders start to really scrap here. But at any rate, he's giving it a great run here. Deacon Greenfield, there's the 125 Sawyer Richards. Those two having a really good little dust up here for 10th.
Yeah, Dylan Lee popping in the chat saying, the one track I'm okay at, and I'm flying. This will be a good race to watch. Guess he's on an airplane.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Piatek with Beans on his 6 down this long front straight. Beans, this is through, 9 under the bridge now into turn 10. Ooh, look at that smile. Did you see that? Beans watched him, and he watched Piatek miss the apex by about 2 feet. And as he saw that, he just grinned.
Also really like that last corner, how you just fly out of there, climb up on that rumble strip and just burn and just keep your throttle in.
Great.
It's a lot of fun, but look at this. Carson Neal's going to see the door open here with Beans hunting for the lead. Tried to get the nose in there, but had to pinch it off.
And you see what Piatek did there to dissuade Beans from doing that outside run? If we can go back and when this calms down here, look at the entrance into one. He just... Right here, Beans is thinking, all right, I'm going to do the outside move.
Oh. Just kind of cut away from me there because someone lost connection, but let's try that again. Right here.
Yeah, Beans pops, and look at Piatek come way over, and then he runs deep on purpose. He just got Beans a little bit off of on the line he was comfortable with, and he had to give it up. That's great racecraft, I think the guy's going to stick it around the outside on you, float just a little wide. Give him room so you don't hit him or knock him off track. But as the old adage goes, you don't have to make it easy, just possible.
A little touch there between the leaders. Into turn 10 side by side. This is a fast corner, 85 miles an hour, and that's going to give James Newell a huge run. He's going to take him. Oh, he thought about going 3 wide.
Yeah, I think the guy who could really benefit here is Carson, because those 3 being offline like they were, and then Carson was absolutely full chat through that corner, perfect line, but he had nowhere to go with it. There's Elliott Burton, and then look at Camden Hibbett. He is making quick work of this group. I said he had to get through this group in 10 minutes. He did it in 8.
Yeah, little side-to-side contact there with Jim Friedhofer. definitely using the body work on the way up, but you got to get aggressive. You don't have that much time, 12 minutes to go. It does help that Morgan Burkhardt is way back there in 17th after that crash, but you still have to fight all the way to the end of the season.
You cannot give it up. Yeah, you absolutely can. And just to tell you, the best laps that were turned were the 122s. Everybody up front now is racing it in the 124s for the most point. And then I look at him, and he just won a 23 flat. So he is absolutely flying right now, and running a second and a half quicker than these guys, at least on the last lap, as they were side by side and bumping and all of that.
Yeah, you have to wonder with this racetrack. I would think that there's a bunch of maybe not tire wear, but tire temperature. This is evil on tires in those switchbacks in the second sector. And remember that Morgan Burkhardt had to go to pit lane to get that car repaired, so maybe a fresh set of tires a couple laps in probably doesn't hurt. We're 3 wide for the lead, Greg.
3 wide. Is they going to pull this off here? That's James Newell going big brave here on the outside. Oop, a touch, but didn't affect Piatek too much. Newell had to check down a little bit, and Hayden Mattis just dove underneath Carson Neal. And here comes Piatek. He actually used that to get a pretty good run out of 2, but he's really out of position here. And we've seen what happens. Oh, Beans, look at that. Yeah. Beans sort of sold him a little bit of a dummy there. And Piatek couldn't get it woed down, and as a result, floated wide and has lost 3 spots at least, 4 spots.
Yeah, again, that side-by-side thing into 3 has turned almost into tears twice now. So I think that's definitely a notification to everybody that that's going to be the trouble spot tonight. Risk versus reward in that area of the racetrack. Halfway through this race, 10 minutes and 35 seconds to go.
Now we can cut here into that crucial run through turn 8 and 9. And now this second long run here. See that big bump right there. And the problem with that bump is it happens at a point where sometimes it can get the car to pogo a little bit, and it's still maybe pogoing as you start your approach to turn 10. So you just want to make sure that when you hit that bump, it's pretty straight here. And look at this Beans opening up a little bit of a gap, about a half second, as Hayden Mattis jumps into second with Elliott Burton right there. Now taking over that 3rd spot. James Newell in 4th, Piatek trying to get back up. He and Neal. And then I hear trust music.
Camden Hibbett, this is a really impressive drive. If there's any racetrack that you're going to start from the pits at, this is probably the one, because pit lane is so short and ends right before the start-finish line. So it wasn't as big of a penalty as it would be, say, at Watkins Glen or Road America or something, but it still put him way down the order, and these guys battling has brought Camden right back into the fight. He could absolutely still win this race, but he's have to go through Manis, Forster, Burton, Newell, Piatek, all these guys that have been tooth and nail since the drop of the green. Yeah,
absolutely. And that last lap, Camden ran a lap that was a half second quicker than most of these guys up front, or more, even higher than some of the others. So, and these guys have been absolutely scrapping. And Camden, if he was able to get through some of that traffic and keep his tires in good shape, while these guys have been running side by side through corners and the like, if Camden was able to get through that traffic with his pace, he may have been able to do that without overstressing tires. Be interesting to see here. Now, Piatek trying to at least get one of those spots back, gets by on Newell, and back now. He moves up into that 4th spot, is it?
It's been kind of a revolving door up here, hasn't it? Manis
it really has.
Took the lead from Forster for a second, now got to his left for turn 3. Game on here between these two.
Yeah, you can see what smart move by Beans. Hit the brakes and actually turned up underneath, and as Manis had to check up a little bit, Beans had a really clean run. Now stomp on the brakes for the left-hander as you're going downhill. Here's where you get some elevation again, where you can attack. And now you turn in here to this corner, and now it's just a right, and get your line good, really solid here. Come through late apex here, and now you're just flat chat. I love this section. They call it the S's, and it is a hoot.
It's a blast, and that's why, you know, if this racetrack was a hair bit bigger, it'd be so much fun in a GT4 or GT3 car. It does feel a little constrained with cars with that power level, but it is such a blast to drive. As they filter back out onto the front straightaway again, 7 minutes to go. Timer's counting down, and Camden Hibbett will throw lap times here up on the left-hand side here. Last time around for Camden Hibbett, he ran a 1:23 flat, which was a full second faster than everybody ahead of him. He is coming. Oh, contact, and Forster's around from the lead, and everybody scatters crash.
Oh, that was a big Piatek involved, Newell involved.
Wow.
Man.
Let's go back.
Looks like Beans maybe okay. I saw Piatek was down. So it was Burton. Oh, big hits.
Yeah, there's Burton up the inside here at turn 1, just dives in there. But he was sort of alongside there. I don't know that he really did a lot to induce that beyond having overlap there. I can't really pin that on him. But either way, it's Piatek and Forster down out of the order, and that puts Camden Hibbett back to second place.
Unbelievable. Threaded his way through that. This is incredible. And just as a fun side note, the only guy on the track lapping faster than Camden is Morgan Burkhardt, but he's way, way back. But yeah, I'll tell you, be interesting to see. You know, I think most of the cars had sort of parted the seas as Camden got to that incident, but a bit of a hard-to-throat moment nonetheless. Ooh, man, it's running wide. That doesn't help you run down onto this front straight.
No, here comes Hibbett.
Got through there. I was going to say Hibbett got through there really well. And with Manis, that little loss of momentum, I think Camden's just through it clean.
Right back to the lead.
Jeez.
Took him 11 laps from starting from the pits to get to the lead of this race, and it wasn't without a little attrition along the way. But here he is. Manis now second. Burton still third. Then Neil Greenfield up to P5. I'm sure he'll take this after the season start. He had a couple good results. I think Mid-Ohio last week had a nice result.
Absolutely. How about Venzel Kama, another of our new drivers that's doing it really. Jose Dennis Casas up into the top 10 as well. So great stuff here.
But not over yet. 5 minutes to go. Now Manis is going to get right back up on Hibbett here and make this hard.
Well, one thing we know about Hayden is he is not without big bravado. You know, he will stick his nose in there and get after it here. We've seen Elliott Burton be pretty quick as well. The one guy I'm wondering about is Carson Neal, because he took a pretty good whack in that, and he's hanging on to that 4th spot. It's going to be a matter of interesting to see what his lap times are next time by. Under 5, 4.5 to go as we come down the front straight. Does Hayden now have enough of a run? The top 3 are pretty much gone at this point.
Yeah, and this straightaway is long enough that as long as you're within a half a second, you can catch the leader. But Manis decided to sit on it that time. Carson Neal's going to hit pit lane. I think he wanted to get a little repair and reset. He'll pop back out in 11th as Wayne Buttermore passes him for 10th. So took the opportunity to get some repairs done, but we're far from sorted here at the front.
Yeah, I have a feeling Carson was driving a car with the steering wheel being really weird. As he took a whack right in that front tire. So, but this is going to be really fun to watch here. See what Hayden is going to be able to do, and is Elliott going to be able to come up with something? It almost seems like Elliott's just laying back a little bit. Here we go. Once you make that turn in there, now you just arc and glide through these corners.
Up and around, and this throttle up run under the bridge here and down this stretch to turn 10 is also a lot of fun. And then you turn in, and honestly, I really like turn 10. It's such a fast turn. You use a little bit of the runoff right up against the gravel, and then it's kind of a short run to the finish line. So I think if you want to win this race, you can't wait till the exit at 10. You got to get it done somewhere else, probably by the time you get to 5. So 3 minutes left. That's going to give us 3 laps to go thereabouts with pretty short laps, minute and 23 or in change.
So you're saying that a draft pass from 10 to the finish line is probably not going to happen?
Yeah, I've seen it done, but
too short a time.
Yeah, I've seen it done in the newer MX-5 with the open top, but I think with the slick top now and these cars having a little less straight line speed, I think you'd be better off making that pass earlier. Is it possible? Yes, but you better have that run. I mean, getting a run into such a fast turn like 10 is hard. You know, it'd be a little easier to do if you were coming out of something that was a little less quick.
And as I said in the open, you know, if you could pressure somebody into that mistake, you know, and running wide at 10, that's a biggie. Boy, I tell you, Deacon Greenfield and Bill Bunzel-Clema here really dicing it up. That's Deacon off to the left in that red car, right behind the white and green of Bunzel-Clema as we ride with Jim Friedhofer here.
Ooh, but I like watching
Jim having a nice run sitting in sixth.
Yeah, for sure. I just like watching Deacon there get ahead in the steering compared to Bunzel-Clema. He was turning in later than him, and that's going to allow him to pop over to the right here into 10. This is for fourth. Tight. But he didn't complete it. Now he's going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, Friedhofer, if he could get, he had a nice run. I don't know that he used up all the road like he could have. And I think that maybe hurt Jim's chance here to make a big move. And it's maybe saved Deacon from losing another spot.
Out front, Camden Hibbett, Manis, and Burton. Still 3 drivers to sort this out. About a lap and a half remaining here.
Covered by less than half a second. So they are having a good one. Ooh, I'll tell you, Hayden is making life difficult for Camden here.
He is, and I think he's close enough to make a lunge, whether it be 1 or 5.
Yep.
You got to keep Camden guessing, though, and that involves being aggressive right out of the gate. So we're going to ride on board with Manis and look at Hibbett's onboard here, and you can see that there's a little contact, the green text at the top of the screen. They had a little nose-to-tail touch there. He'll probably check his mirrors now and then, but he seems pretty focused forward at the moment.
See Hibbett using that exit curve. He is just, and that's really smart because, you know, what that means is he's opening the wheel up as much as he can to eliminate as much side scrub out of the tires. Yeah, that's just friction. That costs you speed and time. And all right, here we go. White flag, 1 to go. You can see Bunzel-Clema, Greenfield, and Friedhofer way behind here. So the battle is on. And Hibbett protects to the inside. Manis pops to the outside. Is Manis going to try? Yes, he is. He's going to try and go around. But he did not have the speed or the grip at that point to make that work. Bunzel-Clema dives down underneath Deacon. Friedhofer following him here, but again, I think Deacon did the right thing there, stayed put, but went right to the middle of the track, and that just sort of pinches the other driver. I talk about that a lot. And here we go, tricky entry here. Ooh, and you know, that's twice. I've seen Camden, a little bit different line, and look at how much you can see Hayden runs right back up on him here.
He's close. It's not over yet.
No, it's not.
I just don't know if you have enough momentum to build a run to that start-finish line, but Manis has given it all he's got here.
Let's see if he's got enough of a run here in any way, shape, or form to maybe try and get underneath Hibbett in 10. And no. So it's all about the exit here. Hibbett, there you go. Every piece of the racetrack. Used every bit of the road, great exit speed, and Camden Hibbett grabs the win. But what a race by Hayden Manis and Elliott Burton. And these guys in the back, Deacon Greenfield, scrappy run up into 4th. Such very impressive run by Bill Bunzel-Clema up into the 5th spot. A recovering James Newell in 6th, snuck by Jim Friedhofer right at the end. There you can see Carson Neal after his stop. Jose De Las Casas just got pipped at the line there by Seth Spallman. Oh man, he was 8th, Jose was, and Seth nipped him right at the line. So Jose back into 9th, and then Carson Neal in 10th.
Quick look here at the results before the session ticks over, but there's your top 10. Would not have said that after Camden Hibbett missed the grid in a 20-minute race at Summit Point, but let alone, I mean, he's just amazing, unbelievable.
It truly was. I mean, it's just a stunning drive. Manis, Burton doing a wonderful job. Greenfield, a really solid run as well. You can take a look there at that top 10. And of course, not in that top 10 is Morgan Burkhardt, who after the wreck had to pit, got back into the top 15, he and Beans struggled after that contact too. And then Kurt Schmidt there at 17th, Piatek, big damage in that hit. And then Belleman as well, out early with that contact. So I'll tell you, it was a bit of argy-bargy in that one. And we still got another race to go, so this could be really interesting.
I think we learned a lot from that race, but there's still plenty more to come. Another 20-minute show, and I think for me it was turn 3 was the trouble spot, Greg. That was what bit even the best of the field out tonight.
Yeah, and I don't quite understand that. When you drive turn 3 on your own, it's tricky enough, and to turn in, get that run, don't overrun the exit, but use all the track. And then, you try and do it side by side with somebody. And that's going to be incredibly difficult to do. And then you have a really savvy driver on the inside that sort of sells you a little dummy. And you end up going straight off of the outside. All those little things that play. I just assume go line of stern through 3 and maybe try and surprise somebody down into 5. But we'll see what happens, right?
Certainly.
We got some wonderful partners we want to thank here. Sawbelt has come on board with us, and for over 5 decades, they've been known for quality and innovation through vigorous research and development, and they are the only company in their sector with an internal test lab to perform FIA-rated tests on their products. So pretty impressive. FARA, of course, is the Formula and Automobile Racing Association, a Florida-based series that provides the most accessible road racing for spectators with no ticket cost, a minor parking fee. A family of 4 can literally attend their events for only $5 per person per day. I mean, seriously. And they're going to be treated to a really diverse variety of cars and drivers, GT cars, prototypes, Formula cars, and the only professional Spec Miata series running right now. It's amazing. FARA weekends are the best, and they stream most of their events too. Of course, we've got a couple of sponsors that have been with us since day one. 3P Logistics, tailored trackside support, race car storage, maintenance, repair, transportation, and Final Turn Motorsports. They do dyno tuning. They're a Miata tranny builder, and they are a full-service prep shop and do trackside support as well. And then Wine Country Motorsports, your one-stop shop for sim racing gear, full send sims, turnkey, and custom simulators. Yep, they are now an outlet for full send sims. But they're really known, of course, for their helmets, suits, gloves, shoes, seats, and harnesses for over 30 years. They have the best customer service in the business, and the reason is they answer the phone when their internet friends don't. And then, of course, a huge thank you to Full Send Sims, Kurt Schmidt, for creating this championship. Let's learn a little bit more about the idea, the concept of Full Send Sims.
Simulation will never replace real-world racing, and I don't want it to.
Full Send Sims provides custom-built, top-notch simulators from whatever your budget is. We want to find the best fit for you.
We build rigs for pro drivers where we go and measure their cars, every measurement one-to-one down to the millimeter. You can drive these sims and certify basically to race a car in the real world. Matter of fact, this weekend we have 2 guys that work with FSS that have strictly been sim racing for the last 5 years.
Absolutely did not think a year ago I'd be driving a race car this weekend. However, getting into the simulator, I think it really helped me get on the track and stay competitive.
I've been a sim racing instructor for about 2 years now. The benefit of working with me as a race coach, I'll get you to be a better driver, a lot faster, with a lot less mistakes than you could doing it on your own.
We take the sim building and the sim training as serious as possible. It's not a video game, it's a training tool.
Full Send Sims will offer fully custom-built rigs and delivered and installed into your own home and constant online service. What we offer is world-class, top-notch racing built by a community of racers who enjoy passionate, clean racing.
Well, if you want the best sims in the business, it's Full Send Sims. Again, Court got his sim training in the military, building and instructing on sims for tanks, armored personnel carriers, that sort of thing. And when he builds these sims for you to become a better race car driver, it's military grade precision and quality going into the build, and it's pretty spectacular. So if you need a sim, Full Send Sims should really be the first place you look, no question here. And You know, one of the things I want to mention, getting back to this track, is, you know, I've said before that to me this has sort of a Willow Springs feel. It's a little bit shorter than Willow, but not a whole lot. But that S's section here reminds me of the Omega complex.
Oh, yeah.
And Sims,
yeah.
You know, it's got that same sort of shape to it.
I see that 100%. Yeah. You know, again, it's one of those places, Willow Springs. I've been to a handful of times. I love it, but again, it just wasn't quite up to the task of hosting major road racing events these days. Summit Point certainly is, or at least club level racing things at a somewhat major level. But they've put a lot of money into Willow Springs as of late. It's a topic that actually came up today at Grid Life, Greg. So just one of those interesting things. Will the Singer brand kind of revive Willow Springs and bring it into the 21st century? You know, I think there's some that want it to stay the way it always was, but you know, if you keep doing what you always had, you're always going to get what you always got, right? So something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, and there's, as long as you leave the track alone.
Yeah, right.
You can certainly do it. You know, the facilities need a major renovation, and you can do that without messing. You know, think about what Ron Fellows and his partners did at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, Mosport. You know, track is still the track, but the facilities now are superb, and you can make it happen. And I hope they do. You know. Well, where's Camden again? Boy, he continues to push the envelope.
Well, he's there this time.
There he is.
Popping in. Didn't have a lot of time left. Everyone gridded up real fast in race 1 and race 2. So, again, 19 cars on the grid. The key points here to note, we'll show you the starting lineup on the left. Note that Camden Hibbett won the race, so he starts first. Thomas Bellman finished last, so he starts last. That puts Morgan Burkhardt 15th. So everything we saw Camden Hibbett do in the last race, both Burkhardt and Bellman, front row starters or second row starters from race 1. They'll have to do this in race 2 as well.
Uh-oh. All right, Morgan gets going. He had a big internet glitch there. You know, and both of these guys, Morgan and Bellman, certainly have the credentials to do what Hibbett did.
Oh, for sure.
And get that run up there, no question.
There's a look at Court Schmidt, starting 17th in this race after finishing 17th and giving us kind of a look at Full Send Sims shop. Look at all those metal platforms with the cool stripy tape. That looks like a space station or something in there.
It really does, doesn't it? Looks like the cargo bay for shuttles on the Enterprise.
It really does. That's so cool. I need some of that stripe tape. Makes anything look neat.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And he does such amazing work in there, he and his team. So, there's a look at Court. Running the all-black Shadow. We call him the Shadow. He's tried everything to quit getting hit.
It has sort of worked.
Yeah.
I mean, at least maybe I saw him get hit more when he was in the bright yellow car.
Maybe that's it. Appearances are everything.
Yeah. So have another look at the weather here on the bottom right. A little bit warmer than the last race, but not by a lot. The wind has really died down. Pretty stagnant day.
Yeah.
1 mile an hour. There's a little boost in the breeze. 3 miles an hour now.
And for those of you who might just be your first time tuning in and wondering, those are not Gladiator spikes in the wheels. That's just a glitch in the programming for iRacing. And they've got lots of other, a little bit more important things that they're working on. And so they leave it there. I think it looks kind of funny. I love it. But,
yeah, I guess it's the knuckle that's been turned around backwards. And
that's what it is.
Yeah, and again, this car in iRacing, you know, this is probably one of the only leagues, widely recognized leagues certainly, that is using this car. This is, for all intents and purposes, a legacy car that isn't really run much in iRacing these days. So, you know, it's not high on the priority list. I think they do know about it, but I'm sure that'll get patched in a future patch. They're worried about GTPs and hybrid systems and all the other stuff that's contemporary these days. So,
yeah,
best of luck to all of us, I guess, right?
I guess.
Give me an H pattern and a clutch pedal, Greg. Jeez.
Any day, because that's the motorsports ballet. That's old school. All right, Hibbett, 40 miles an hour till that green flag flies. He's under control of this field. Watch for Piatek in the back to make a move as we go green. And Carson Neal, he moved over big time, really aggressive in that yellow roofed blue car there. Look at the pack behind him. Morgan Burkhardt right behind. I'm not sure who that car is, as a matter of fact, as they get in there. Side by side, Manis with the nose ahead going into turn 1.
Oof. we were 4 wide going into turn 1, and
Oh,
so there
there
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, and Wozencroft gets turned around sideways, and Sawyer Richards is up on the mound over there.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't going to last, but
It's really critical, on these starts. And, some of these guys, I realize, maybe they don't have the full 3 wraparound monitor, the whole thing. But on these starts going into a turn like turn 1, just assume somebody's on your inside and outside and give them that little bit of space. Because if you turn down into them, you're going to suffer as much as they do. And that's kind of what happened here. But Hayden Manis, that was a great run through turn 1, using that outside line, put himself into the lead. And you wonder if his mindset there was, I raced Camden, I stayed with Camden, I even harassed Camden a little bit in that last race. I belong up here.
certainly.
Every once in a while, you get that one race where the light bulb goes off, and then you're just up there all the time. Woo-hoo! It's a bit of a tank slapper for Jose.
Yeah, that was a wild ride, but he caught it.
Yeah, he did. Nice save.
Lost some ground there. All the while, for the lead, here comes Hibbett on the outside. I like this. If you can keep the overlap there, it sets you up nicely for 3. But, again, that's a really tough area to get overlap and keep it.
Yeah. You really have to have a lot of confidence in the grip when you make those outside passes. Well, that and the confidence that the guy you're passing is going to race you clean and not just drift over. Force you off the track. Ooh, Friedhofer and Newell. That was a high-speed tap, wasn't it?
It was. Now Carson Neal's following down the hill here. Look at his focused face as he drives in up underneath the 89. You can see the arms at work there as they bang doors.
Ooh, another hit. I think Jim Friedhofer was a little bit frustrated with that.
Here comes Burkhardt up to 10th.
Yeah. You can see right in front of those two. A good run by Beans, doing a nice job. Piatek, he's the one who really hasn't been able to do much, and he was so fast early here. Oh! Side by side.
This is going to compromise the leaders and give Burton and Greenfield a really big run.
You bet it will. I think Hayden got the better run through there, of he and Camden, but now Camden's going to get a big boot from Deacon, who's chatting with him.
Down the gears, got to be smooth here. It's really easy to over rev and blow the engine on these cars, and going from 5th to 2nd, that's easy to mess that up. And
Ooh.
Carson Neal's gone around at 1. And I think
Friedhofer?
Yeah, I think these two have tangled again. But all the while, for the lead, we'll look back at that in a moment because this is a real stack up here.
Oh, look at that curb hop. Boy, Camden squaring that exit up a little bit. He's in really good position for this pass down here into 5. Falls down. Got to get your braking just right. But look at Manis just throw it in around the outside. That's going to hit him the inside here. That was pretty. And if he just shuts this door a little bit, well, he didn't even have to. He got through there so clean. Hibbett just had to give way. Burton watching these two, then Greenfield, then Newell.
Yeah, I didn't think Manis was going to hang on to that at all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
But look at him out front again, so he's figured out the power play here. Here comes Hibbett. Took a look to the inside. It's going to stack up Burton into 10. They've got, 6, 7 cars in there back to Beans.
They do. And I think that little lift by Camden could leave him susceptible to Burton here. See what Burton does. He's so close. And he just opts. All right, I was too close to get any kind of a draft run, so I'm just going to stick with Camden here. And this time Camden gets in deep enough that Hayden is not going to be able to hang on to it. He should be able to maybe hang on to 2nd here. Look at this grouping we have here. Beans, what a drive Beans has put in here. Right now, our top 7 are covered by less than a 2nd.
Oh.
And Beans is the guy who's been flying up through the pack.
Yeah, and Manis somehow took that back away from Hibbett. He didn't have overlap at the middle of turn 1, but he earned it back by the time they got to 3. Fires it in there pretty deep into 5, and he's really been the dominant force of this race so far. Of the laps we've run 3 total, and he's led all 3.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job here. I've been looking at some of these stats here and who's led what. Let's go back and look here what happened.
This was Neal and Friedhofer, and they just got 3 wide. Burkhardt on the inside there.
That was nothing that Carson could do.
Yeah, but Burkhardt picked up some damage in that, and I don't know
must have.
how. Yeah, it's not the worst, but it has slowed him down. He's running 126.4 last time around. We'll see if he picks it up this time.
Yeah, he, and that little clip, I mean, it really was hard enough that it really knocked Friedhofer's car, knocked the rear end off. Look at these two again, side by side. Burton watching. Does Manis have enough on the outside?
But again, he just throttles up. And he's not pinching the car off on exit, having to hold it to the inside, so it just winds up a lot better. And he's going to keep this again.
Yeah. But you watch the line he drives as he does that. You know, he never opens it up too much to give a, you know, to let Camden have a good run at the exit of 2 either. He pinches him just a bit. You know, so he can roll into the throttle nicely, but Camden has to wait, okay. And just that little bit is going to be too much.
Oh, Beans, look out. Running out of road up there. Look at the throttle inputs just all over the place. Oh, boy.
He let Bill Vansel-Kama slide through here.
It looks like Vansel-Kama got rear-ended by a Mack truck. That thing is just all bent up. Oh, man. That thing has been shortened.
All right, so... And all of that scrapping near the front. Look who's joining the party here. Piatek in 8th, Delleman in 9th. And they are closing on this group, and we've got almost 13 minutes yet to run. Guy who's a bit of a surprise to me is Burkhardt.
Yeah, I think he's nursing that car. It is a little slower with the damage, but it's not crazy slow, but it's not as fast as it was before. And here comes Hibbett up the inside again at 1. He got a throttle really soon that time, and I think that might do it. It does.
I wonder, did he get a little tap from Burton that just sort of popped him through there?
I think he did.
It was really close quarters, and he's looking at his mirror going, thank you, Elliott. That was nice.
Now, Manis can't sit back here. He's got to try to get this back.
Exactly.
Hit the gravel a little bit, though, slowed him up.
Last thing on Burkhardt is he hadn't made great progress prior to that contact.
No.
So, you know, I think he was just caught in a mess, but yeah, his times are definitely not what you would expect. Running high 124s, and everybody else in the mid to high 123s. So,
there's Court leading him around here, P10.
Yeah.
And this train of cars out at the front, it's 9 cars long. And Hibbett in command.
Yep. Top 9 covered by 2 seconds. That's just extraordinary.
This has been, I figured that this track was going to be fun, Greg, but I didn't think it was going to be this fun and this much chaos. I mean, Summit Point is a challenging racetrack, but it just offers a little bit of everything in a nice, concise package.
Yeah, it really does. You know, like I said, it's really tricky. It's a great technical track where a driver can make a difference, but it's also that long front straight. If you know how to work a draft, that can come in and play.
Ooh, that was a little wide.
Manis, a little wide there. That's going to cost them. The last thing these guys want is to give Hibbett a little bit of a break. Don't do that, guys. Look at Deacon Greenfield. He split the fuse here.
And he's needed to. Again, he's coming off the momentum of Mid-Ohio, so he's got to capitalize on that good week and carry that forward because it didn't really start very well. So he's got some digging out of a hole to do, and this is exactly how you do it.
Exactly. You just get that one race like Mid-Ohio that gets your confidence back, and then just keep that confidence and keep working. And one thing we know, this dude has some of the fastest reaction times in this championship, so that always plays well in close quarters racing.
Definitely very focused ahead, but I love that he's got the old school H-pattern shifter on the rig, rowing through gears properly here. That adds another layer of dimension. You don't have to do that here in iRacing because stick shifters are sort of a luxury and not a necessity, so you can click through the paddles. You still have to clutch and do all that, you know, even if you just have a button for a clutch. But for drivers that choose to do it with the stick, that's always a lot of fun. Here comes Hayden up the inside, 10 minutes to go.
Ooh, look at how deep he got.
Oh, Kevin's off the road.
Off. That's exactly what Hayden did the last time, but this one cost. And look at right now, Deacon looking, trying to get a run done. Hibbett's going to try and force it inside Deacon into 3, and at the last minute decides the better of that. And now he's got James Newell chomping on the back of that Miata. So we flick through turn 4.
Ooh, little wiggle from James Newell because he had
and a touch.
Crash.
Oh, and another touch. Straightened him out, but
yeah, I think he's got damage on that left front.
Yeah, he certainly does. Oh man, what a shame.
This was right here. Beans coming off the curb, tagged him there, and then looks like Thomas Belleman got into the left front there. That's what broke the suspension.
Yep. Oh, what a shame. He was having such a good run.
Yeah. So looks like Belleman's also hurt. He's going to head to pit lane. Just not his night tonight by any stretch.
Boy, no kidding. He's showing some great pace, though. It's just really a shame. Yeah, I'm looking at... yeah, it just wasn't on Belleman here. He had a 22.9 as a fast lap, so he was showing some speed, but back up front here, and what a scrap. This Camden finds himself in 3rd. Now chasing Hayden Manis and Elliott Burton with 8 minutes to go. Plenty of time. Then Greenfield now with that contact. The last lap coming up through the S's here. That's now opened it up. Back to Beans. Fensel came up. Piatek and Court. Here they are. There's Beans, Fensel, and Piatek.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Manis tonight. He has just shown up and battled hard all night long, really showing speed. And again, this is speed that, we had seen at points last year that he didn't really capitalize on the beginning of the season in a similar way to Greenfield. And he is just, as you said about Deacon, he's lit the fuse and is just really, really strong tonight. And so about Burton, too. I mean, where's he come from tonight?
Yep. Yeah, and we've seen, the same thing from him in the past, haven't we? We've seen there have been times he's had really good speed, and then something happens or whatever, but he's had pace, and he's just got to put these drives together a few times, because we know he's got the pace.
Oh, look at Burton.
Ooh! That was crazy, and unfortunately that opened the door for Hibbett. I'm not sure that Elliott really read that well. Camden dives through. Oh, man, Manis rim shot. Almost dropped that left rear. Had he done that, we'd have a whole different looking exit of this turn, but he didn't. And he's got the position, and again, Hibbett wisely just tucks in, as does Greenfield on Burton here.
Gosh, this is getting really spicy up here at the front.
It is.
Hibbett, pretty conservative on the brakes here. He's happy to ride around until he gets a better opportunity. But there's action back here. Seth Spolman and Court Schmidt up to 8th place, but he's in too hot, too far.
Oh, whoa, Court, don't spin it. All right, oop, but then he got hit there, I think. As he came back on, just a tap. That may have been from Morgan, of all things.
There's a look at it from high above. Well, here's Morgan. Let's see if we can grab.
There's Court. Just got in too hot.
I don't think he gets hit. I think he just comes back on and just.
Oh, I thought you're absolutely right.
But either way, game on up here. Under 6 minutes to go. Hibbett's got a big run, and Manis isn't going to bother covering it. I think he likes defending on the left, and Hibbett knows that.
Yep.
That gives you the preferred line into turn 3, which is the corner that's probably a little arguably a bit more important because it runs you into 5, which is your last passing opportunity there, but Hibbett clears.
Yep, that time Manis just had a little bit too much speed, I think, floated just a little bit wide. That gave Hibbett the run he needed. But those two, they'd opened up a little bit of a gap back to Burton et al. And just that side-by-side through one has brought Elliott and the gang right back into this.
All it takes, and I did this move plenty of times in my rookie seasons in iRacing, when you come down out of 4 and the car momentum takes you to the left, just carry it all the way over and just wait a little bit longer before you pound that brake pedal to the floor. And you get that overlap there and try to just run them out of road on exit. It's tough and tight, but that's how you can get that surprise move done. But if you, there is no time to decide whether or not someone's going to go defensive on you. So you go down there, you hit the brakes, and you just hope that they're not going to cover you off, because if they do, you're both crashing.
Yeah, it's That's a classic risk versus reward pass, isn't it?
Yeah, you come out of that corner with so much momentum, and you have to immediately hit the brakes. I liken it to if you've ever been to Beav Run or Pit Race, Greg, that last little kink on the backstretch before turning into the hairpin at the end of the lap. You have that fast kink, and then you have to hit the brakes, right after you finish settling the car, or even like the backstretch at Road America if you're in a much faster car. Going through that last little left bend before Canada corner, you have to wait for the car to kind of get settled before you can hammer that pedal.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's having that feel, having that touch on the brakes and everything. That's the thing that can separate a guy. And right now, Manis continues to want to separate Hibbett from the lead here. A little bit of a gap back to Burton, a little bit bigger gap now back to Greenfield and Beans and Piatek. I really thought maybe Piatek's used up his tires here, because I thought, he got pretty close at one point, and I thought, if he's got such good speed, he might be able to work his way through, and he's just sort of been parked.
We've seen lots of fall off tonight, more than we would typically see, just because you're just throwing this car around so aggressively. And the race isn't really long enough necessarily to feel a massive degradation. The tires that these cars have are pretty hard as far as the relative iRacing tire index, but they do get hot because they're pretty narrow. So you're putting a lot of energy into them when you're sliding the car around. 3 laps to go here at the front, and here comes Manis for the lead.
Hibbett moved over, but Manis was already alongside enough that he had overlap, and he got in really nicely. Hibbett tries the outside run, but Manis covers that. There's a little tap. Burton trying to follow through with Manis. Was Hibbett going to try and do the double into 3 here?
I hate this. This makes me nervous every time they do that. And Manis had a little tank slapper on the exit, but he held on to it, and he's going to have this lead here unless Hibbett can have the overlap, and he will. Oh, he's in the grass on the brakes. I can't believe he got his stop. That's the risk you take by braking so late there.
Look at this.
2x2x2, Noah's Ark.
Yeah, 2x2, but wow, this is insane.
Oh, Greenfield and Piatek almost came together there.
Well, Piatek must have heard me.
Go time.
Not only did he passed Beans, then he got by Greenfield. Oh boy, and he could very well be, I'm talking about Piatek, be in the catbird seat here. Because if these guys up front get really scrappy, get into each other. Look, Piatek fighting some internet issues, though.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's not what he needs right now. 2 laps to go.
No.
If they get scrappy, that's the funniest joke you've said all day, Greg.
Yeah, really. Isn't it, though? Yeah.
If.
That's a really good point. Look at that.
Oh.
Again now.
Gosh, they're so tight. You can't slide a piece of paper between them on the braking zone there. And, a couple of them looked like they were going to try the side-by-side through 3 again. And then when they checked up, as you said, there was very little room. Contact, accordion contact down there. And how do they not crash? Well,
they might still.
Yikes.
So there is Piatek through. And Beans saw opportunity, dove underneath, got the curve, bounced out a little bit.
And now, Piatek is certainly in the right spot now with these front 2. So that worked out well for the number 62. And then game on now between these 2. Fight. Withdraw your weapons, boys. Lap to go.
Through turn 10. And we're coming up to the white flag. It's about 3/4 of a second from this duo back to Piatek. Here we go, side by side.
Oh, they just crashed into each other on the straightaway.
On the front straight. How does that happen, guys? Come on.
Oh, boy.
That slowed them both up, clearly.
Mattis is going to go left, and this is going to be a battle.
That's a big squeeze. I think he felt aggrieved there. So he went for the big squeeze, and now he's got Hibbett on his right side going through 3. Piatek gave him some room.
Here comes Piatek.
Yeah, here he comes.
on,
down the inside. That's
pocket
that
for
move
second.
you were talking about. Ooh, but Manis trying to hang on to that spot. He's still got overlap. Nowhere beyond. Oh, they touch.
They're going to give this to Hibbett now with these guys battling, and now Forster's going to have the opportunity to steal this.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Hibbett is looking in his mirrors, and now he's grinning. That heart rate's probably coming down a little bit again.
Didn't have it running tonight. I didn't get a chance to see.
No, he didn't, did he?
Last corner. Ooh, this is going to be a duel here. Watch
Here
Beans.
we go. Beans getting a great run. Not enough. Burton in the background goes way off, but he's on his own. Hibbett gets the win. Manis grabs what a second and a fighting second for Hayden. Piatek third. Wow. Then here comes this group. That was Spolman coming through.
And it's quiet from there on down.
Yeah, it is.
Those front runners are really putting on a show.
Yeah, they were. Burkhardt got up into the 10th spot.
Yeah, it's not. He just didn't have the luck. Neither did Thomas Bellman tonight. They just got caught up in incidents that had damage and just had to nurse around broken cars for most of the evening.
Yep.
But
And
okay.
I feel terrible, for James Newell.
Yeah.
He was really quick tonight and got taken out.
Well, that was something. Let's have a look at the results.
Whew, yes, it was. Here we go. You can see Hibbett with the win at last lap that he blew up to over a second. Manis, though, what a scrappy fight to second. Piatek, a great drive through the pack to third. Forster, the same for fourth. And Deacon Greenfield continuing his farm for fifth. Bill Von Silkema doing it again. Another solid run. Elliot Burton dropping back to seventh on that last lap. Seth Spolman, one of his best drives that I've seen from him. Nate Himmelsbach in ninth, and Morgan Burkhardt only able to do the top 10, Kyle.
Yeah, looking down 11th through 19th. Wozencroft, he started one of the races off in the weeds, so 11th, not a bad night. Carson Neal got tangled up there in a crash in race 2. Thomas Belleman was on a good way forward, got caught up in a collision, ended up 15th in this one. Court Schmidt as well ended up off course. Then Friedhofer, Sawyer Richards, and James Newell, the rest of your running order. And that is the running order for race number 2. Who do we have in the third spot in race 1? I know Manis was up there on the podium.
Yeah.
Who was
Who
P3?
was it? Oh, I can't remember. That's a really good point.
We're gonna look down the list because
Was it Beans?
It wasn't Beans.
No, he dropped. You're right.
Was
he
it?
went back
Oh, it was
again.
Burton. Elliot Burton.
Burton. Yeah. Okay.
I was just trying to see who's going to hopefully give us the chance to interview. So we'll give him a minute here to get here. But what a race!
Yeah.
What
No,
a
that
two
was
races.
Fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like this place. I really do. It's just a little bit of everything, and it's just a fun, and when you go there for an event, the atmosphere is great. We talk about the National Park of Speed. There are plenty of camping opportunities here. All this greenery. It's a cool little track for sure.
It is, and one of the drivers that was up there in the mix all night long was Hayden Manis. Hayden, tonight was your breakout night for the season, I have to say. Really impressive drive. Second in both races, but you were fighting for the lead all night long. Take us through your evening and battling with Camden there at the end.
Geez, that was the first race was definitely an eventful one. A lot more incidents that I would have, I'm used to seeing, I guess. Usually everybody's pretty kind and pretty generous, but it was quite outrageous. But second race was great. No, me and Camden, I felt like we're pretty much even on pace, the entire night, and it was great racing with him.
Yeah, Hayden, you were able to get out there and you led for a while, and your defense down into one, staying to the outside so many times, was absolutely fabulous. And just watching how you would exit as you started to go into 2, you wouldn't unwind the wheel that much, and it kept whoever was inside you pinched a little bit. It was some really great racecraft, and you matched it with some great speed. It was so fun to watch.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, going into turn 1, I kind of figured out the run and kind of how far alongside they needed to be to get by me through 3, and Camden, I knew on the last lap had just a little bit too much alongside me, and he probably was going to have me, and he did. So props to him. That was a great race. He's got a ton of experience in this league. So just great driver, great race, and it was fun.
Yeah, what happened with you guys in that last race? I think it was starting the last lap where you guys came together.
Yeah, I think that was just kind of a misunderstanding. We were both kind of trying to get the side draft. It seems like the side draft is much more effective than it used to be. So I think everybody kind of gets a little close at times, and you'll just get a tap every now and then.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, it was a brilliant night of racing for you, and you belong up front. You showed that. We look forward to seeing you up there a lot more for the rest of the season.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the words.
You bet.
Thanks, Hayden.
Yep.
Let's chat with Deacon Greenfield, because he was up there in the mix as well, and top 5 in both races, 4th in race 1, 5th in race number 2. Deacon, again, just like Mid-Ohio, this has just been, as Greg put it, like you're just lighting the fuse. You're putting things in the right direction at this stage. Tell me about tonight and what you saw at the windshield. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, glad to finally figure it out. Not the best qualifying tonight, but I think we put it together with the race pace, so got really lucky a couple times and also forced the envelope. So really happy to be running here at our home track.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt if that's your home track,
Right.
to really know this place. And there's so much nuance to this place, that track knowledge will help with. And you just played it beautifully tonight. And it was fun watching your racecraft come alive here. It was really cool, Deacon. Well done.
It was really fun to be able to fight at the front there, especially in race 2.
Yeah.
I was really trying to work with Hibbett there and maybe get that first podium of the season, but it was a tough race all around. I can't complain.
Yeah, but that's not going to be, long off, I don't think, the way you're running now, man. And can't wait for it to happen.
I hope so. Thank you.
All right, bud.
Thanks, Deacon. All right, let's chat now with Camden Hibbett, who won both races tonight. Wasn't easy, Camden. There was a lot going on this evening. And it started with you missing the grid. Something strange happened. I noticed it myself at the tail end of qualifying, where it seemed like the session sort of finished 50 seconds early or something like that. But you missed the grid, started from the pits, and then won the race. And then race 2 was a little bit more standard Camden style. Take us through your night and how wild it was.
Yeah, this was a roller coaster for sure. I want to, first of all, apologize for anybody that I accidentally affected on the end of qualifying. I think it was like 30 seconds. I had a race control management software in the background and hit a button on my keyboard. I didn't realize race control software was up. I hit a button on my keyboard and it was set to a keybind to advance the session. So hopefully I didn't mess anybody up too bad. It was news to me that I had admin rights in the session now. I didn't know that, but anyway, I apologize for anybody I screwed that up with. Hopefully it wasn't, hopefully just being 30 seconds, it wasn't too bad. But with that said, I mean, yeah, I don't really know what to say about race 1. Well, I'll preface this by, after the whole advanced session fiasco, my computer crashed. So that is why I didn't make it to the grid for race 1. And starting from the pits, I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens, right? And I was like up to 10th, and then I was up to the pack, and then everybody died in front of me, and I was like 2nd. And I was like, what is going on? Like, that's not how that's not how this was supposed to work. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, I not earned or deserved, in my opinion, for race 1, but sometimes you got to take what you can get. Race 2 was definitely a little bit more of a traditional race. You had a lot of heavy hitters coming from the back. I know Morgan, Thomas, Oliver, I think Bean started from the back also. So I was just out there honestly trying to condense the field, and as soon as I was trying to get somebody racing behind me for second to try and break away. I just never timed it right. But in the end, I was just trying to keep the field condensed to try and keep the pack racing. I felt like I could break away, especially with some of the guys stuck in the back. I felt like I could break away if I timed it right with getting second racing with 3rd and 4th, but just wasn't able to, unfortunately, time it right. But ended up working out in the end. It was a roller coaster of a night. From the advancing the session accidentally and feeling like crap because of that. I didn't know who I had affected in qualifying, and then having the sim crash, and then going from pit lane to the win, and then actually having a good race in race 2 and managing to hang on for the win. Definitely a mental roller coaster for sure this evening.
Well, it had to have been for sure. But, your drive in that first race, we were watching the times, and I misjudged it because I said he's got 10 minutes to catch these guys or to work through this group, and you did it in 8. And that gave you, that extra 2 minutes, and you started to run down those other guys. And I know you might say you didn't feel it was deserved because there was some contact and you were able to work your way through. But that's part of racing, man. And, you pick your way through an incident like that and come out, up in front. Good on you. And then let's jump to that second race. Hayden Manis, man, was he on form tonight? And his defense staying wide through 1, I thought was just brilliant. And you had obviously looking out your side view at him a few times there. That was some great racing.
Yeah, he was. The defense from Hayden was awesome tonight. There was definitely some moments where I could kind of see him trying to pull some tricks. Right, there was a move into 10 where he showed his nose, trying to get me to check my mirror, and racing Morgan these past couple years, I've seen that trick before, so I saw that one coming. And then ultimately on the final lap there, I just got him to outbrake himself a little bit, was able to cross him up in 1 and roll the outside of turn 3. And ultimately, I mean, it was a really strong drive from him. I know he's always been right around the top 3, top 5, but that was really cool. I don't know how often he's really raced for the win and for the lead, but he definitely belongs up there. It was a really strong run for him. Same with Deacon Greenfield. Elliot Burton was up there. William, I'm gonna mess this name up, Van Salkema. He was very strong tonight. I mean, it was definitely a mix-up with some of the heavy hitters getting wrecked out, and that lead pack was definitely a unique mix of names for sure, especially come the end of race 2.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you're right about Hayden. We've seen, he's got great speed, and then he added in some really solid racecraft tonight. And when I ask him, one of the questions I want to ask is, now that you've run at the front and raced and led a guy like you, do you now feel like you belong up front? Because I sure do, and I'm looking forward to to seeing what he does for the rest of the season. But boy, this was a biggie for you too in terms of points and everything, as we are now into the middle third here with Morgan having a bad event, double races here, and with Nicholas not being here, big night for you.
Yeah, I think I don't know that Morgan will be running the next couple weeks. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him. But even with Nick being gone, I mean, I think he was 3rd in points coming into this weekend. So, or this week, it's habit, right? 3rd in points coming into this week, and I think I definitely got. It's definitely a solid points week. I did it again. It's definitely a solid event for sure. I'll go to that one. So I definitely think going into, I think it's Road Atlanta next weekend. Event. I can't stop it now. It's in my head.
Yeah,
we're going into Road Atlanta or wherever we're going. I think Sebring. Yeah. Short course. So that one's gonna be an event. That has always that always provides some incredible racing. The short course, for whatever reason, you get one main passing opportunity down in turn 7, and that's it. And for some reason, it creates some of the best racing on the entire calendar. So
it does.
That's going to be an interesting one. And then obviously, I know we go to Road Atlanta within the next 3 weeks.
Yes. And
Road Atlanta for me is the wild card. Anything can happen there. With that long backstretch, we saw it in Petit Le Mans with MX5 Cup this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely still up in the air. Going back to the original question, I mean, to try and go back to back in SMX or back to back, I don't know. To try and get another one, I'm really excited. I think I take a lot of pride in being able to become somebody that drivers can look up to, and I'm not going to say replacing Morgan by any means, but becoming another driver like Morgan or Nicholas. These guys being a part of that and getting added to that list as time slowly progresses. That's ultimately the end goal, and I think we're one step closer to that tonight. So
Yeah, you
we'll
are.
see. We'll come back next week.
All right, real quick, one last question. I doubt you've heard this, but they let Kyle and I choose the last race location of the season here.
Yep.
And have you heard?
I have heard.
What do you think about Bathurst?
So this one's gonna be interesting. Is this the announcement, or do people know?
Well, we announced it at the top of the show, but other than that, nobody knows. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
this is gonna be an interesting one. Ultimately, the race is gonna come down to that corner right there. That is going to be the showdown corner.
Yeah.
Nobody is going to win the race until the final 30 seconds because of the however long back straightaway that is.
Yep.
It's going to be ridiculous. We don't hit 6th gear in these cars anywhere but Daytona or Road America, and add Bathurst to that list, I believe, because it is going to be an interesting season finale for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Taking one of these NCs down the mountain is going to be an interesting experience for sure, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's what we thought. We thought this would be a crazy fun place to end the season. So glad you're on board with that, man. Thanks so much. Great night tonight.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next week at Sebring.
See you there. Thanks, Kim.
See ya.
All right, Greg, wrapping things up here. Man, that announcement's fun. Bathurst for the finale. It's Sebring short next week. But, man, Summit Point, this was one of my favorite rounds of the year just because there was a lot of chaos, and sometimes the chaos breeds action. So wrap us up, Greg. That was fun.
That was awesome. One quick note, since we're going to the Sebring short course next Tuesday night, this coming Thursday night, the 15th, we have one of the Racecraft Academy sessions that will be at the Sebring International short course. So if you're not too familiar with that track, or you want a little bit of some tricks in how to do things, might want to check that out. Just go to fullsendsims.com. With that, we're going to wrap things up here. Again, just a huge thank you to Court and the gang at Full Send Sims. Also to the fine folks at Sawbelt. They've been wonderful. FARA, the Formula and Automobile Racing Association, Final Turn Motorsports, 3P Logistics. I'm way ahead of Kyle there. I'm sorry, Kyle. And Wine Country Motorsports. Big thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without them. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here. And again, big thanks to Finian DeCuna for everything he does in terms of working on those cameras and getting them looking so good. And to Kyle, of course, as always, I'm Greg Creamer. Looking forward to being with you again from Sebring in the short course in a week. See you then.